Hello. Today we'll be reading some poetry. Hopefully a little calmer and a little warmer. It's not quite freezing yet, and I've got on heavier clothing. So I'll start off. This chapter is titled All Manner of Creatures. When Adam quitted the garden, along with his buxom wife, for to delve and swink and swither and earn his way in life, the animals sidled about him to grunt and whine goodbye, but little enough their grief was, however they piped the eye. A tear from the rhino trickled, but he did not really care. The hippo mumbled politely, grumbled the hypocrite bear. One hump of the camel quivered, as a chin that shakes with grief, but his other hump was perky, like it really felt relief. The walrus snivelled dankly, in a quite perfunctory way, and the bull was patently anxious to get back to his hay. And the porcupine and narwhal, the wallaby and giraffe, parodied sorrow so broadly they made the penguin laugh. Which of you brutes so mournful, the watching angel said, will follow man from Eden to toil for daily bread? And which of you beasts so tearful will give him more than tears, faithful to his footsteps through all his outcast years? Come forward, said the angel, before the barriers close, you friend of all his friendship and foeman of his foes. The sly little seal, he sniggered, chuckled the kangaroo. The chimpanzee pulled a raspberry and winked at the cockatoo. His thumbs on his proboscis the mangy ape did place, and flickered his ribald digits right in Adam's face. They shuffled and lurched and ambled, each to his separate den, and that was the honest measure of what they felt for men. The angel smiled in knowledge. He permitted himself a tear, and if he weren't an angel, I'd say that he sneered a sneer. They see so much, these angels, as they ramble here and there, that we must try and forgive them if now and again they wear that manner of sad amusement, that faintly cynical air. But a pup there was that lingered, in most abject unease. He lay too broken-hearted even to bite his fleas. His tail swished desolation, and its swish was his only sound. A splay-foot pup with a belly that grieved along the ground. His ears were the dragging cypress, and his eyes were love profound. He looked not at the angel, but of a sudden he rose, and he ran and nuzzled Adam, and his soul was in his nose. He scampered out of the garden before the gates could close, the friend of all our friendships, and the foeman of our foes. Titled The Dog by Don Marcus. At first he stirs uneasily in sleep, and, since the moon does not run off, unfolds protesting paws. Grumbling that he must keep both eyes awake, he whimpers. Then he scolds, and, rising to his feet, demands to know the stranger's business. You who break the dark with insolent light, who are you? Where do you go? But nothing answers his indignant bark. The moon ignores him, walking on as though dogs never were. Stiffened to fury now, his small hairs stand upright, his howls come fast, and terrible to hear is his bow-wow that tears the night. Stirred by this bugle blast, the farmer's bitch grows active without pause, summons her mastiff and the hound that lies 3 fields away to rally to the cause, and the next county wakes. And miles beyond, throats tear themselves and brassy lungs respond with threats, entreaties, bellowings and cries, chasing the white intruder down the skies. Dog at Night by Louis Untermeyer. At midnight in the alley, a tomcat comes to wail, and he chants the hate of a million years as he swings his snaky tail. Malevolent, bony, brindled, tiger and devil and bard. His eyes are coals from the middle of hell, and his heart is black and hard. He twists and crouches and capers, and bares his curved sharp claws, and he sings to the stars of the jungle nights, ere cities were, or laws. Beast from a world primeval, he and his leaping clan, the blotched red moon leers over the roofs, give voice to their scorn of man. He will lie in a rug tomorrow, and lick his silky fur, and veil the brute in his yellow eyes, and play he's tame and purr. But at midnight in the alley, he will crouch again and wail, and beat the time for his demon's song with the swing of his demon's tail. The Tomcat by Don Marquis. You may call, but the little black cats won't hear you. The little black cats are maddened by the bright green light of the moon. They're whirling and running and hiding. They're wild, who were once so confiding. They are crazed when the moon is riding. You will not catch the kittens soon. They care not for saucers of milk. They think not of pillows of silk. Your softest crooningness call is less than the buzzing of flies. They are seeing more than you see. They are hearing more than you hear. And out of the darkness they peer with a goblin light in their eyes. The Bad Kittens by Elizabeth Coatsworth. Mangy and gaunt, I walk the tiles tonight, and mangy comes my lady to her tryst. And 9 lies back, 900 some have guessed. With prouder mien we rambled, ranging light, sacred and sleek on roofs of amethyst and caves of ivory we wandered, while the lotus-colored moon swang up the Nile, and Memphis slumbered in the silver mist. Oh, it was heaven, just to sit and be antiphonal beneath some royal room, until, for all our sacredness, we heard loud hieroglyphic curses flowing free, and marked a sandal hurling through the gloom, hot from the hand of Ramses III. An Alley Cat by Nancy Bird Turner. His brindle hung about the post. The sun and the leaves made spots come down. I looked close at him through the fence. The post was drab and he was brown. His nose was long and hard and still, and on his lips were specks like chalk. But once he opened up his eyes, and he began to talk. He didn't talk out with his mouth. He didn't talk with words or noise. The talk was there along his nose. It seemed, and then it was. He said the day was hot and slow, and he said he didn't like the flies. They made him have to shake his skin, and they got drowned in his eyes. He said that drab was just about the same as brown, but he was not a post, he said, to hold a fence. I'm hoarse, he said, that's what. And then he shut his eyes again, and still as they had been before. He said for me to run along and not to bother him any more. Horse by Elizabeth Maddox Roberts. Across the ages they come thundering, unfaithful hooves the horse's man disowns. Their velvet eyes are wide with wondering, they whinny down the wind in silver tones, vibrant with all the bugles of old wars. Their nostrils quiver with the summer scent of grasses in deep fields lit by pale stars hung in a wide and silent firmament. And in their hearts they keep the dreams of earth, their patient plodding furrowed to the sun, unnumbered springs before the engine's birth doomed them to sadness and oblivion. Across the swift new day I watch them go, driven by wheel and gear and dynamo. Say this of horses. Engines leave behind no glorious legacy of waving manes and wild proud hearts and heels before the wind. No heritage of ancient Arab strains blazes within a cylinder's cold spark. An engine labors with a sullen fire, hoarding no dreams of acres sweet and dark. No love for man has ever surged through wire. Along the furthest slopes I hear the rumble of these last hooves. Tomorrow they will be still. Then shall the strength of countless horses crumble the staunchest rock and level the highest hill. And man who made machines to gain an hour shall lose himself before their ruthless power. Say this of horses by Minnie Height Moody. Speak gently, spring, and make no sudden sound. For in my windy valley yesterday I found new-born foxes squirming on the ground. Speak gently. Walk softly, March. Forbear the bitter blow. Her feet within a trap, her blood upon the snow. The 4 little foxes saw their mother go. Walk softly. Go lightly, spring. Oh, give them no alarm. When I covered them with boughs to shelter them from harm, the thin blue foxes suckled at my arm. Go lightly. Step softly, March, with your rampant hurricane, nuzzling one another and whimpering with pain. The new little foxes are shivering in the rain. Step softly. 4 Little Foxes by Lou Sarett. Once or twice this side of death, things can make one hold his breath. From my boyhood I remember a crystal moment of September. A wooded island rang with sounds of church bells in the throats of hounds. A buck leaped out and took the tide, with jewels flowing past each side. With his high head like a tree, he swam within a yard of me. I saw the golden drop of light in his eyes turn dark with fright. I saw the forest's holiness on him like a fierce caress. Fear made him lovely past belief. My heart was trembling like a leaf. He leaned towards the land and life, with need above him like a knife. In his wake the hot hounds churned, they stretched their muzzles out and yearned. They bayed no more, but swam and throbbed, hunger drove them till they sobbed. Pursuers reached the shore, and vanished, I saw nothing more. So they passed, a pageant such as only gods could witness much. Life and death upon one tether, and running beautiful together. Crystal Moment by Robert P. Tristram Coffin. Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forests of the night, what immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? In what distant deeps or skies burnt the fire of thine eyes? On what wings dare he aspire? What the hand dare seize the fire? And what shoulder and what art could twist the sinews of thy heart? And when thy heart began to beat, what dread hand and what dread feet? What the hammer? What the chain? In what furnace was thy brain? What the anvil? What dread grasp dare its deadly terrors clasp? When the stars threw down their spears and watered heaven with their tears, did he smile his work to see? Did he who made the lamb make thee? Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forests of the night, what immortal hand or eye dare frame thy fearful symmetry? Tiger by William Blake. Two little creatures with faces the size of a pair of pennies are clasping each other. Ah, do not leave me, one says to the other, in the high monkey cage in the beast shop. There are no people to gape at them now, for people are loth to peer in the dimness. Have they not builded streets and playhouses, sky signs and bars, to lose the loneliness shaking the hearts of the two little monkeys? Yes. But who watches the penny-small faces can hear the voices. Ah, do not leave me. Suck I will give you, warmth and clasping. And if you slip from this beam, I can never find you again. Dim is the evening, and chill is the weather. There, drawn from their colored hemisphere, the apes Lilliputian, with faces the size of a pair of pennies, and voices as low as the flow of my blood. Monkeys by Padraig Colum. Okay, the accent's gonna be terrible here, but wee slicket cowrin, timorous beastie, oh, when a panic's in thy breastie, thou needna start away so hasty with bickering brattle. I would be laith to ring thee and chase thee with murdering prattle. I'm truly sorry man's dominion has broken nature's social union, and justifies that ill opinion which makes thee startle at me, thy poor earth-born companion and fellow mortal. I doubtna whiles, but thou may thieve. What then? Poor beastie, thou mun live. Damon Iker in the thrave, says small request. Get a blessing with the lave I never missed. Thy wee beast housey, too, in ruin. It's silly where the winds are strewin', and nothing now to big anew. O foliage green, and bleak December's winds ensuing, best smelling keen. Thou saw the fields laid bare and waste, and weary winter coming fast, and cosy here, beneath the blast, thou thought to dwell, till, crash, the cruel coulter passed out through thy cell. That wee bit heap of leaves and stibble has cost thee many a weary nibble. Now thou's turned out, for all thy trouble, but house or hall, to thaw the winter's sleepy dribble, and cranwich cauld. But, mousie, thou art no lie lane, and proving foresight may be vain. The best laid schemes of mice and men gang off to Galai, and leave us naught but grief and pain for promised joy. Still, thou art blessed compared with me, The present only toucheth they, but och, I backward casts in my eye on prospects drear. And forward, though I canna see, I guess and fear. To a Mouse by Robert Burns, and I'm not sure what accent I was trying there, but I know like most of those words. Some of them are, and Conrich called, base smelling keen. Not quite understanding all of that here words. But let's get away from that and return to my own American English. Okay. Hedgehog, hail the happy day that fashioned you against decay. You were a cog in nature's plan before man's doubtful race began. And though in stature a Tom Thumb, not destined early to succumb, no crass inferiority marked your godmother's legacy. With spines of salvation bounded, all your foes you may defy, into a tight fortress rounded, take your ease beneath the sky. Meekly you lap bread and milk, continents as bland as silk, yet by the same mysterious token, crush and crack an adder open, raising your troop of spiteful bristles, thick as an avenue of thistles. The Hedgehog by Laura Bennett. Or Benet? No, Bennett with a T at the end. Dickie found a broken spade and said he'd dig himself a well. And then Charles took a piece of tin, and I was digging with a shell. Then Will said he would dig one too. We shaped them out and made them wide, and I dug up a piece of clod that had a little worm inside. We watched him pucker up himself and stretch himself to walk away. He tried to go inside the dirt, but Dickie made him wait and stay. His shining skin was soft and wet. I poked him once to see him squirm, and Will said, I wonder if he knows that he's a worm. And then we sat back on our feet and wondered for a little bit, and we forgot to dig our wells a while and tried to answer it. And while we tried to find it out, he puckered in a little wad, and then he stretched himself again, went back home inside the clod. The Worm by Elizabeth Maddox Roberts. Busy, curious, thirsty fly, drink with me and drink as I. Really welcome to my cup, couldst thou sip and sup it up. Make the most of life you may, life is short and wears away. Both alike are mine and thine, hastening quick to their declines. Thine's a summer, mine's no more, though repeated to 60. 60 summers, when they're gone, will appear as short as one. On a Fly Drinking Out of His Cup by William Oldies. A tiny bell the tree toad has. I wonder if he knows the charm it is to hear him ringing as he goes. He can't have gone the journeys he tells me to go on, here in the darkness of the cool cropped lawn. He cannot know the thrill of the soft spring wind, or the wonder when you walk what will come behind. He hasn't seen the places I'd break my heart to win, nor heard the city calling when the cold comes in. He sings away contented, and doesn't leave his tree, but he sets my blood a-going where his song will never be. The Tree Toad by Oric Johns. When he runs hunting, the chipmunk stretches to a stripe over the wood's ground. He has the sun's style flickering. He matches the half-shadowy places where nuts are found. The chipmunk is compressed when the grim wing beat of a hawk passes. He's a chunk of turf, and his whiskers tremble on him in the manner of grasses. Chipmunk by Marie de la Welch. A lithe, beautiful fear thrusts through the parted canes. I should have known it near by the blind blood in my veins. Here is one way of death, though with no threat for me. Now I have caught my breath, now that my brain can see. Amber pours over the ground, darkness of amber too. Blue of the gulf profound, superb and bitter blue. Sharp on the lacquered black, gold corniced groping head, bold swerving diamond back. Why wish such beauty dead? Why thwart such will to live? Better to think twice. It is I who am fugitive from paradise. Python by Grace Hazard Conkling. With 6 small diamonds for his eyes, he walks upon the summer skies, drawing from his silken blouse the lacework of his dwelling house. He lays his staircase as he goes, under his 8 thoughtful toes, and grows with the concentric flower of his shadowless thin bower. His back legs are a pair of hands, they can spindle out the strands of a thread that is so small it stops the sunlight not at all. He spins himself 2 threads of dew, which will harden soon into lines that cut like slender knives across the insects' airy lives. He makes no motion, but is right. He spreads out his appetite into a network, twist on twist, this little ancient scientist. He does not know he is unkind. He has a jewel for a mind, and logic deadly as dry bone, this small son of Euclid's own. The Spider by Robert P. Tristram Coffin. With what smug elegance the small goat minces over the rocks to me. Inquisitive, yet quite sedate, he fearlessly evinces interest in what my outstretched hand may give. His horns are dainty curves, his beard points trimly. He has an eye that's both demure and shrewd, and yet for all he moves his lips so primly, spoken aloud, his language might be lewd. It makes me smile to see so much that's charming, so grave, naive, and innocent a grace, an air so decorous and so disarming, combined with that uncouth and crafty face. Nosegay for a Young Goat by Winifred Wells. He clasps the crag with crooked hands, close to the sun in lonely lands. Ringed with the azure world, he stands. The wrinkled sea beneath him crawls. He watches from his mountain walls, and like a thunderbolt, he falls. The Eagle by Alfred Lord Tennyson. Under the eaves, out of the wet, you nest within my reach. You never sing for me, and yet you have a golden speech. You sit and quirk a rapid tail, wrinkle a ragged crest, then pirouette from tree to tail, to rail, and vault from rail to nest. And when frequent dainty fright, you grayly slip and fade, and when in hand you realight, demure and unafraid. And when you bring your brood its fill of iridescent wings and green legs dewy in your bill, your silence is what sings. Not of a feather that enjoys to freight or praise or preach. O Phoebe, with so little noise, what eloquence you teach. To a Phoebe Bird by Wisher Biner. Ah, God, to have a breast like that, to throw at day, thrust for the hands of dawn, to quiver and flare upon. And a hook of gold to end you, and a bloody flag sewn in your head, and all yourself an arch, and your soul a white cascade. With yellow spirals, step, stalk, and clutch reluctant loam. Hard kernels and brown hens in the brazen blue of noon. Ah, God, stab upward with your noise, tear at the sky, with the day gone molten down his throat and his spine a tilted flame. What singer could not make one song as fine as fire? The White Rooster by George O'Neill. The night was coming very fast. It reached the gate as I ran past. The pigeons had gone to the tower of the church, and all the hens were on their perch. Up in the barn, and I thought I heard a piece of a little purring word. I stopped inside, waiting and staying, to try and hear what the hens were saying. They were asking something, that was plain, asking it over and over again. One of them moved and turned around. Her feathers made a ruffled sound, like a bush full of birds, and she said her little asking words. She pushed her head close into her wing, but nothing answered anything. The Hens by Elizabeth Maddox Roberts. Under a wall of bronze, where beaches dip and trail thin branches in the water, with red-tipped head and wings, a beaked ship under sail, there glides a great black swan. Under the autumn trees he goes. The branches quiver, dance in the wraith-like water which ripples beneath the sedge with a slackening furrow that glides in his wake when he is gone. The beeches bow dark heads. Into the windless dusk, where in mist great towers stand, guarding a lonely strand that is bodiless and dim, he speeds with easy stride. And I would go beside, till the low brown hills divide at last for me and him. The Swan by John Gould Fletcher. Oh, lonely trumpeter, coasting down the sky, like a winter leaf blown from the bur-oak tree, by whipping winds and flapping silverly against the sun, I know your lonely cry. I know the worn, wild heart that bends your flight, and circles you above this beckoning lake, eager of neck to find the honking drake who speaks of reedy refuge for the night. I know the sudden rapture that you fling in answer to our friendly gander's call. Hello, beware decoys, or you will fall with a silver bullet whistling in your wing. Beat on your weary flight across the blue. Beware, O traveller, of our gabbling geese. Beware this weedy counterfeit of peace. Oh, I was once a passing bird like you. To a Wild Goose Over Decoys by Lou Serrett. On the large highway of the awful air that flows unbounded between sea and heaven, whilst twilight screened the majestic distances, he moved and had repose. On the huge wind of the immensity he leaned, his steady body in long lapse of flight, and rose. Gradual, through broad gyres of ever-climbing rest, up the clear stair of the eternal sky, and stood throned on the summit. Slowly, with his widening breast, widened around him the enormous solitude, from the grey rim of ocean to the glowing west. Headlands and capes forlorn the far coast, the land rolling her barrens toward the south. He, from his throne upon the gigantic wind beheld. He hung, he fanned the abyss for mighty joy, to feel beneath him strown pale pastures of the sea, with heaven on either hand. The world, with all her winds and waters, earth and air, field, folds, and moving clouds, the awful and adored arches and endless aisles of vacancy, the fair void of sheer heights and hollows, hailed him as her lord and lover in the highest, to whom all heaven lay bare. Till, from that tower of ecstasy that baffled height, stooping he sank, and slowly on the world's wide way walked, with great wing on wing the merciless proud might, hunting the huddles and lone reaches for his prey, down the dim shore and faded in the crumbling light. Slowly the dusk covered the land. Like a great hymn, the sound of moving winds and waters was. The sea whispered a benediction, and the west grew dim, where evening lifted her clear candles quietly. Heaven, crowded with stars, trembled from rim to rim. The Fishhawk by John Hall Wheelock. Little things that run and quail and die in silence and despair. Little things that fight and fail and fall on earth and sea and air. All trapped and frightened little things, the mouse, the coney, hear our prayer, as we forgive those done to us, the lamb, the linnet, and the hare. Forgive us all our trespasses, little creatures everywhere. Little Things by James Stephens. And finally, whither, midst falling dew, will glow the heavens with the last steps of day, far through their rosy depths thou dost pursue thy solitary way. Vainly the fowler's eye might mark thy distant flight to do thee wrong, as, darkly seen against the crimson sky, thy figure floats along. Seekest thou the plashy brink of weedy lake or marge of river wide, or where the rocking billows rise and sink on the chaffed ocean's side? There is a power whose care teaches thy way along that pathless coast, the desert and illimitable air, lone wandering but not lost. All day thy wings have fanned, at that far height, the cold, thin atmosphere, yet stoop not weary to the welcome land, though the dark night is near. And soon that toil shall end. Soon shalt thou find a summer home and rest, and scream among thy fellows. Reeds shall bend soon over thy sheltered nest. Thou art gone. The abyss of heaven hath swallowed up thy form, Yet on my heart deeply has sunk the lesson thou hast given, and shall not soon depart. He who, from zone to zone, guides through the boundless sky thy certain flight, in the long way that I must tread alone, will lead my steps aright. To a Waterfowl by William Cullen Bryant. And so ends that chapter of poetry.